All right, choose. First movie on our list, Tombstone. Take it away.
1993 Tombstone, rated R, with a runtime of 2 hours, 10 minutes. This had a budget of $25 million. What do you think this brought into the box office?
25 million was the budget?
Yes.
That's it?
Yes.
Wow. I'm going to say it made 100.
1993.
Yeah, but that's not a lot. 25 million. I mean, it is Western. They're kind of low budget, aren't they? Anyway.
They've got all that stuff on the back lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They just like reuse the same sets. I want to say it made 150 million.
Okay. Fee?
I'm going to say right around that same area. I'm going to go a little lower and go 140 just for variety.
You want?
Okay.
Okay.
You will be disappointed to know that according to Google and Wikipedia, it made $73 million.
But that's still really good. For
Yeah.
Yeah.
According to IMDb, it only made 56.
It more than doubled its budget, which is good.
Yeah.
But this is
That's
such a.
still nothing to sneeze at.
No, but
Somebody comes at me today with $73 million.
Oh, you will
this
never
is
see me again.
Pretty fucking happy.
I'm pretty sure this movie has made way more money than that by now. Then this thing's a cult classic now.
Oh,
It's
it's not even a cult classic. It's just a classic.
It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like in 10 years, this is going to be on TMC.
Squad.
probably-
TCM, sorry.
It might already
Yeah,
be in
Turner
on it.
Classic Movies. What does it say?
Me and Tom both have the same
You
shirt.
changed your shirt?
I
That's a dope shirt. I like
did. Thanks.
This,
Yeah.
this is one of my favorite movies of all time.
that. Yeah.
It's
It's one of the best Westerns of all time.
yeah.
This
for
movie
sure.
tickles me from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything that they say, especially Doc, everything that they say, all of the fun little quips that they dig at each other, the whole fucking movie is just so much fun.
Well,
I mean-
every line that Doc says is quotable.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, everyone.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
They're all a sticker, or a
And-
T-shirt,
and,
or something.
most of them are lines that the actual Doc Holliday said.
Yeah.
That's
in real
awesome.
That's
life.
really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, this like it's funny because I watched this movie this week and then like immediately went on like this weird deep dive into Old West history. I was listening to like podcasts about Wyatt Earp and like downloading audiobooks on his life and shit like that. It's I don't know, man. I love this era. I love movies that talk about this era. I am a huge Western fan. I love Western movies. This is not my favorite Western. My favorite Western is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, but this one is freaking right there.
Have you ever watched Silverado?
I think so. I don't remember if I did or not.
I think that's my favorite Western.
Okay.
Silverado.
I mean, I've seen a lot of Westerns, but I don't remember all of them. But it's definitely one of the type of movies that I like sit down and watch.
This is one of those movies we're all just going to gush over, I think.
Yeah.
Well, do you want me to tell you what it's about
Yeah,
first?
please, Jude. Tell us what it's all about.
Well, Curly Bill's been hitting the opium pipe too damn hard and draws the attention of all three Earp brothers, the lover, the fighter, and the one with the best mustache, when he got high and killed the Tombstone Marshal. Wyatt just wants to deal cards, be disappointed in his wife, and stay off the radar in the booming town. But his sexy older brother, the lover, fighter, and brother with the best mustache, feels the need to get involved and becomes the new lawman in town. Wyatt's got a lot on his plate already. He's busy babysitting Doc Holliday's drunk tuberculosis ass, being disappointed in his wife, and getting chased down by a horny horseback singer in heat. But family first, and he joins ranks with his brothers, Bill Paxton and Wade Garrett, to take on the unruly cowboys and restore order to Tombstone. Doc, suffering from a case of FOMO, accompanies the Earp brothers to disarm the cowboys, but Lowell Mather gets spooked and draws first, and it's a shoot-off. When the smoke clears, Sheriff Chicken Shit tries to arrest everyone involved in the gunfight, but Wyatt's like, I'm Snake Plissken, motherfucker. And the sheriff's like, oh shit, I hear my mom calling me. We can pick this up after I change the pants I just shit. So then Johnny Ringo tries to pick a fight with the Earps, and Doc's like, Wyatt Earp is my best good friend. And Curly Bill's like, Johnny, I hear your mom calling, and she sounds pissed. The cowboys strike later that night, going after the brothers and their wives. Bill Paxton gets game overed while shooting pool, and the man that taught Dalton everything he knows loses the use of his left arm. Don't worry, though, he uses his right for romance. Wyatt tries to squash what's left of the cowboys. He's gone full Oprah. You get a bullet! You get a bullet! Johnny Ringo challenges stuntman Mike to a duel, but his bestie pulls a huckleberry and beats him to the rendezvous to finish that little Latin discussion they started earlier. Discuss.
That's a great synopsis.
Oh, thank you.
Man, could you like pull quotes from every movie
Every movie ever made.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it when she does that.
Yeah.
God damn it, this movie's great. So I'm I love this movie. I don't know if I can't just keep saying that the entire time we talk about this show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the how accurate it is to actual history.
That'll be interesting.
The events of the movie do happen in real life, more or less to the way they show up in the movie. But what was different to me, what I learned this week for this podcast was that Wyatt Earp was kind of like not a good dude. He was a pimp. He was a hard hitting, knuckle first kind of guy.
Cheated at gambling.
He cheated at gambling.
He's for sure whitewashed in history.
Yeah, what I found the most interesting thing was Curly Bill, who we see Wyatt Earp go after the death of his brother. Apparently, Wyatt Earp had a bounty on his head during that time, and Curly Bill got hired by a marshal from another state to kill Wyatt Earp. So it wasn't just that he was like part of this gang that Wyatt Earp had to take out. It was like you got a bounty on your head and you have a bounty on your head. Like everybody was just like real bad.
Everybody had a bounty on
Everybody had a bounty on their head. They're all bad dudes.
Wild West.
I know.
For a reason.
I found that fascinating. Like they don't talk about it in the movie because I think it would be just overly complicated, but I just thought it was really interesting that like, okay, so Wyatt Earp's like portrayed as the hero of the West in legend and culture, but he was not that good of a dude.
Do you know how that came about?
I think it was his own biography, right?
So after, the events of the Wild West, basically he moved to California and became a consultant to movie studios for the Westerns. And it was his stories about like his exploits to studio executives that allowed him to kind of rehabilitate his image and create this legend around himself. And he became friends with like John Wayne, and John Wayne based like his iconic walk on Wyatt Earp and things of that nature. So like apparently like it's been confirmed historically Wyatt Earp was not a good dude, but he was really good at kind of like rewriting history and getting it out there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Good for him.
Yeah, it was a cool thing. I did like that he like ended up in LA and he was like consulting on movies and stuff, and like all the Western movies that a lot of people grew up with and those classic Westerns were all kind of like Wyatt Earp eccentric.
One of the really interesting things about Wyatt Earp is in this movie, there's a scene where like basically he wades out, all these people are shooting at him, he doesn't get shot, and he ends up like, killing the guy. And every time I've seen this movie, I'm always like, that's the most ridiculous, scene ever. But apparently that's accurate. Like there was a shootout where basically like he waded out into a hail of bullets, didn't get scratched, and ended up, killing the guys who were trying to kill him.
Matrixed
him. And he basically like ended his career without ever getting shot. Like he was a lawman who never once got shot.
Yep, that's all accurate. I thought that was really cool too.
And that was like one of those scenes where I was like, that's got to be made up for the movie. Because Kurt Russell's just like going, no.
He's talking about at the end where, the final showdown there.
And so like, I was like, that's got to be something they made up for the movie. It turns out it wasn't.
I thought it was really interesting that like the fight at the OK Corral only took place like 30 seconds. Like that's how long it was. And it's like
gunfights don't really last very long.
Freaking legendary in Western history. There's so many movies made after it. It's crazy to me that 30 seconds 150 years ago can have that much of an impact on culture.
I think I'm going to actually go there here soon.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to throw the wife in.
time?
No, I'm going to throw the wife. I'm going to throw the wife in the Jeep, and we're going to just go away for a weekend. I've always wanted to drive down to Tombstone. It's a day's drive from
She
here.
should probably get in on her own if you asked her.
Probably would, but I like to pick her up and throw her.
Makes me feel like a man.
You're coming with me.
We're going to Tombstone.
Get your laudanum.
That's right.
Vader, what's your thoughts on this movie? Do you have a favorite moment? Is there anything in particular that really stands out to you?
I mean,
the whole movie's awesome.
The whole movie's good.
Yeah.
There's several scenes that stand out to me. Of course, the shootout at the corral. I like. I've always liked the scene where he comes in to and he has the confrontation with the poker dealer or whatever.
Fat
at the very beginning of the movie, where he like
Billy Bob Thornton,
where he gets his steak. Yeah.
Fat Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, it's just that's Billy Bob Thornton.
That's Billy Bob Thornton,
it's
bro.
Like, it's really hard to recognize.
I know.
And it's just funny how that whole thing goes down. And then he comes out and they meet Doc.
Yeah.
And he comes out with his shotgun, and it's just the whole thing, just kind of the way the whole.
Yeah. It's like, you're gonna put that fucking thing down or what, bro?
They just set these characters up as such badasses, and just the way Kurt Russell plays Doc.
Not Doc.
I'm sorry. I'm having a couple of drinks. As Wyatt, he's such straightforward, don't fuck with me kind of guy, you know, or I'll mess you up. You just don't. You don't mess with.
When he's like,
don't mess with him.
He's like, you want to get a what do you call his pistol?
Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
I'm like,
Yeah.
That whole conversation was so hot. He's
know-
like, yank it, son. Yank it. And I was like, fucking yank it.
you're gonna do something. You're gonna sit there and bleed.
I love how they set the Cowboys up at the beginning when they
Yeah.
go and they mess up that Mexican wedding.
Yeah.
They just
That was brutal.
man, it's
Dude,
just-
and even when Ringo shoots the freaking
Yeah.
priest.
Oh, yeah.
And Curly Bill's like,
Whoa.
bro, what did you just do?
shooting the priest. Damn.
And then he quotes the Bible immediately afterwards, like a freaking badass.
Yeah.
It's dude, this whole movie's intense. I love it.
Good
Jude,
stuff.
what's your thoughts on this thing?
My favorite scene is when Doc and Ringo meet,
Mm-hmm.
and Doc's like, I think I hate him. No,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure I hate him. Because he's like trying to one up Johnny Ringo, and he starts talking in Latin, and Johnny Ringo's like, yeah, I'm an educated man too. I'm gonna talk right back at you. I know what you just said. So then he starts like flipping his pistol, and Johnny Ringo's like, I'm the best gunslinger around. And Doc's got his gun on him, but he doesn't even draw it. He does the exact same routine with his cup of ale that
Yeah.
he just finished slinging back. He's a badass.
And the first thing he says in Latin is "in vino veritas," which means in wine there's truth.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
That's good.
That's gonna be a t-shirt.
That's
I'll
good.
wear that.
Yeah.
She said as she slurps her
Her drink.
alcohol. Yeah.
No, that whole scene was great with Ringo and Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday is a fascinating character too. Like I said, I went on a real deep dive with this freaking characters in real
He
life.
was a dentist.
He was a dentist. And then like, I don't know if they figured out why, just something changed in his life and he completely just walked away from being a dentist and went straight to gambling, gunslinging.
Well, he got consumption.
Did that happen after or before he stopped being a dentist?
I think that happened, and it caused him to stop being a dentist because
You can't work on
Yeah,
people.
you can't be doing like
Oh, okay.
like medical
When you're
stuff.
a lunger.
Yeah, longer. The thing that I heard, it wasn't really stated like specifically whether or not he left dentistry and then got tuberculosis or if it was the other way around, but that
He
makes
fell
sense.
in with Kate and her not bustle wearing ass, and he was like, how lewd. I think I'll follow you around.
Doc Holliday's a fascinating character though. He's so cool in this. And shit, how can I cannot remember his name? The actor.
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, thank you. Val Kilmer was
I
perfect.
Oh, yeah,
I
he
think
was
this is
awesome.
the role that he's like the best known.
This
Oh,
is
for
this
sure.
is this is Pete Kilmer
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, he even talked about it in that documentary
Yeah.
that we cried after watching.
Brutal.
It's the second time.
That's a brutal.
Why do you
brutal
keep
thing.
spilling whiskey?
I'm just gonna drink it because I keep knocking it over. So
Is that cowboy whiskey?
it's cowboy whiskey. There we go. All right. Yeah, there you go. Sorry.
You're a daisy if you do.
You're a daisy. Do
There's just,
you guys know what huckleberry comes from?
Yes.
Oh, please tell us.
Why are you so rude?
I don't know.
I will. Thank you for asking.
He's your huckleberry. man.
I guess, man. He's just over here like, yeah, please tell us more about history.
Yeah, it's not actually called Huckleberry. It's called something else, but it's like the pallbearers.
Yes. Yeah, it's a pallbearer. Well, what we now call is a pallbearer.
I'm gonna have to correct you guys.
Of course. I'm just
So-
gonna go lay under the table.
Well, there was a debate about whether or not at the end of the movie with the final showdown with Johnny Ringo, that Doc Holliday says, "I'm your Huckleberry" or "I'm your Hucklebearer," and
Yeah.
the term Hucklebearer is basically like another term for pallbearer.
Mm-hmm.
But Huckleberry is actually one of those things where it stands for "I'm your man," and the reason I know this is because I did research into it for my book Lawmen.
Okay.
And basically, you would pick wild huckleberries, like, and give it to your sweetheart to say, like, I'm your man, right? And so, like, when you say I'm your huckleberry, it's like, I'm your man, I'm the guy for the job. And so when Val Kilmer comes out, and he's clarified, I think in his autobiography, that in the script it said huckleberry, and so like he says huckleberry in the movie, not hucklebearer. And so like when he's like, I'm the man for the job of killing you, and that's the genesis of the line.
See,
I never knew that was a
yeah, that's a real thing.
I mean, I always I never knew that it was a thing whether he was saying
So
Huckleberry or Hucklebearer.
Hucklebearer,
That doesn't make any sense.
it's changed to pallbearer now, but back in the day it was Hucklebearer. And what I always thought he was saying was like, I'm going to be the man to carry you to your grave.
Yeah.
Like I'll be the dude
Yeah,
who kills you.
I mean that was the debate as
Yeah.
to did he say Huckleberry or Hucklebearer, and in the script it's Huckleberry. It's been confirmed.
I thought that was just slang for Hucklebearer.
I thought the same thing. That
Interesting.
was very slurry. I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing.
That freaking cowboy whiskey, man. I'll tell you what.
He ain't gonna bow, is they?
I kind of want. Does anybody else want freaking fashion to go back to these days?
no.
No.
I do, dude. Look how
I don't even
badass
want to
everybody
wear
looks.
pants.
I'll go get you a corset right now.
Bro, I
Not a
got-
corset.
You know what's funny about this is that so the filmmaker, the director of this movie, required everyone to wear period accurate stuff,
Right.
and so they were wearing wool, outfits and
Jesus,
stuff
yeah.
like that in the Arizona heat, and the actors were all just miserable, and they were
Yeah.
like, no wonder everyone was so violent in the Old West. They were all so uncomfortable.
I don't know, man. They look great, dude. The vests with the shirts and the freaking the hat.
Oh, yeah.
Like it looks great,
The,
dude.
the Russell stash.
I was born in the wrong freaking decade, man.
So there's actually a really interesting story behind the making of this movie. If you guys want to hear it.
That's exactly why I hired you. Go ahead.
So one of the really cool things about this movie is the cast, right? And
Right.
there's like an amazing cast in this. And at the time, like these actors weren't quite at the caliber that they later became. I mean, Kurt Russell and Sam Elliott and people like that, obviously. But you see a lot of like kind of smaller actors that went on to become bigger. And one of the reasons for that is because initially this movie was written by a man named Kevin Jarre. And Kevin Jarre was going to have this be his directorial debut. And basically, the script was this huge, sprawling script that told the story of Tombstone from the perspectives of every one of these characters, right?
Okay.
So, like, Johnny Ringo was a much bigger perspective in the show. It wasn't just the Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday story. It was all these characters had like their own viewpoints. And it was interesting because at this time, just to put this in context, this was a dueling Wyatt Earp movie because Lawrence Kasdan was making one with Kevin Costner called Wyatt Earp. And that actually ended up coming out a year after this one. This one beat it to the theaters.
Dennis Quaid plays Doc Holliday in that.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go watch that movie now.
And so like at the time, this was like the lesser of like the Wyatt Earp movies because the Lawrence Kasdan one, like Kevin Costner was like really big at the time, and it was expected to be like Oscar bait and all this other stuff. And so when this one came out, everyone was just kind of like, this is the stupid Wyatt Earp movie. And it actually,
Au contraire.
it actually got like way worse reviews because I remember when this came out, but like over time, it's become like the winner
Yeah.
in that because no one fucking cares about the Wyatt Earp movie that Lawrence Kasdan did.
Yeah.
But getting back to this, so basically Kevin Jarre wrote this huge script and he started directing the movie, and it was going to be his directorial debut. And he directed the scenes that had Charlton Heston in them in this movie. But he was so inexperienced with directing that the shoot like fell like a month behind schedule under him. And so Hollywood Pictures had to come in and fire him from the directing gig. And so they brought in this other guy based off the recommendation of Sylvester Stallone. His name's George P. Cosmatos. And he was the director of Rambo First Blood and Cobra. And so like he kind of came in and had like a week's worth of prep time before he got into shooting. And while this was going on, Kurt Russell was there, and he's like, okay, we're switching directors. I've been wanting to play Wyatt Earp since, long ago. Like he even named his son Wyatt after Wyatt Earp because
Wyatt Russell.
he wanted to play this part for so long. And so he knew that the production was in trouble. And so he sat down with a writer and pared the script down to focus on the relationship between Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. And so basically Kurt Russell rewrote the script, and he was like the unofficial director of this movie. Like Cosmatos came in and he kind of like ran the production, but Kurt Russell was really the one who was telling the actors what to do, was planning out the shot list and all this stuff. So he ghost directed this movie, but both him and Val Kilmer have come out publicly and said this. And so like this is actually a Kurt Russell film from top to bottom. He stars in it. He wrote it. He directed it, but he doesn't get any of that credit. And so like this movie and how good it is entirely attributable to Kurt Russell.
I had no idea. That's freaking dope. Good for him. Hell yeah, dude. Kurt Russell's awesome.
I love
That's why
Kurt
we
Russell.
dedicated this entire week to him.
I like when we do that.
Yeah.
When we have like actor weeks.
I do too.
We don't do it as much as we used to, but it's still fun to do.
It is fun. All right, bud. Give me your final thoughts on Tombstone.
It's are we like giving our?
I mean, we
Grades
could
and
gush
stuff?
over it for another hour,
Yeah, we
or we
can.
could just polish this up. What do you want?
I mean, I have no salt for this movie.
This is a 5-star.
This I don't know. Give me 30 seconds to think about it.
Okay.
This is one of those movies I can turn on and I can watch to the end, and it doesn't matter what part of the movie I'm starting at, and whether it's from the very beginning or, if there's 5 minutes left, I'm always going to watch it. It doesn't matter. I love it. I love the characters. I love Doc Holliday. I love Sam Elliott. Those four guys are four of my favorite actors
Of all time.
of all time.
Yeah.
They really are. And I got nothing bad to say about this movie. Even the bad dudes,
Curly Bill.
Curly Bill.
John
and-
Ringo.
Powers Booth, Michael Bean.
yeah, I mean,
Stephen Lang.
the cast in this thing is just, it's beyond next level.
Jude couldn't believe that was Stephen Lang.
Yeah.
He's so unrecognizable.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is like he was actually drunk during every scene he shot.
Good
Of course
for
he
him.
was.
Good for him. Because he is method as fuck.
Yes, he is.
I'm not joking when I say this. Sometimes I just watch this scene where they're walking down the street.
Oh, with the dusters.
With
Yeah.
Side by side.
This one,
That's the one. just for fun.
Yeah.
It's so iconic. It really is. It's an amazing movie. I'm
so fucking excited right now.
okay.
Man,
Take a deep breath, clench your butt.
is there anything bad in this movie?
No.
Really? Not really.
There's really no.
I mean, if you really wanted to
I
get.
can't think of any salt about this movie. I mean, every time I watch it, I see something new that I think is cool.
Same.
Half star for Jason Priestley.
No, I even like him. he doesn't bother me. He's such a minor role. Okay, fuck it. I'll do it. 5 stars.
Yes!
Let's do it. Whatever. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in.
I'm
in.
shook.
I'll add it to the list.
I love it when I can get you 5-star
Yeah,
movies, man.
I mean,
That's dope.
I was sitting on 4.5 anyway, but I'm just trying to go through my head about what is not good about this movie, and I just can't think of
There's
anything.
anything not good about
I
this
really
movie.
can't think. I love the last 20 minutes are so good when he just like
Just goes on the
when he's
rampage.
just like when he drops his family off at the train and just fucking blasts that dude. It's like, you tell your friends, well, I'm coming,
And hell's coming with me.
It's like, oh my god! It's like my blood pressure gets going.
Yeah,
I'm like,
dude.
Yeah. It's like, and then the music starts, and they got
And they're
the
just-
Hell Riders on the.
It's a murder
God.
montage, bro.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, there's nothing bad about this movie that I could think of. I love it from the beginning to the very end.
Cool.
I almost cry when Doc's in the hospital.
When Doc's in the hospital. That didn't happen in real life.
But I know.
Yeah.
But it's well played out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good stuff. Go ahead, Jude. What do you got?
Is it a 5-star?
I think you know where I'm going.
As she points to her boobs.
Here are my bosoms. So there are just so many little things that I love about this movie, and something that I catch that I didn't see before every time I watch this movie. I think one of the things that makes it even better is that this came on the heels of a Kevin Costner Wyatt Earp movie, and nobody remembers that fucking movie. I love little things like little Vegas lore where there's like, I think it's like a saloon or something that's called the Crystal Palace. And like here in Vegas, we have like the roller skating ring. It's called the Crystal Palace. Like little things like that is just endearing to me. Every single thing that comes out of Val Kilmer's mouth is gold. My boyfriend, Sam Elliott, is in this and he has the best mustache.
Yep.
And then and he's such a romantic, like the whole time he's like his wife is like, me and my man are gonna go have fun. And I'm like, girl, get that dick. And like, even as he's like laying on a couch with like he just lost the use of his left arm because he got shot in a duel. He's holding his wife and saying, "Don't worry, Allie girl, I still have one good arm to hold you with."
Yeah.
Oh,
That's real.
I know.
Like that actually happened. He got shot and his arm almost fell off because the shotgun blew right through it. And he stood his ground and walked back to the saloon where his brother was and had them help him.
There's just so much good shit in this.
Yeah.
And the fact that like, what's her name? Jackie, I don't
The
know.
actress?
The singer lady?
Yeah.
Dana Delaney. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like chasing the shit out of Wyatt Earp, and he like I can see like that this was one of those Wyatt Earp like how about we say this instead, like she was so chasing him and he was like, "No, I'm married, get out of here," and she's like, "But I want that dick and my horse is in heat and that means I gotta chase you down," and he's like, "Well, what can I do?" And it's just funny because clearly he married the wrong person and he's very disappointed, but what can you do but go leave your wife for a fucking singer?
His wife's dying though, isn't she?
She was a drug
No,
addict.
she's just a drug addict.
She's an opium head.
Yeah.
That's what laudanum
Laudanum.
is. It's opium.
Yeah, well, they said it was opium.
Yeah.
And they were like, be
It's-
careful.
for headaches.
She's like, be
Yeah.
careful how much you take. And then she just downs the whole bottle.
It's the same shit they used in Bone Tomahawk that we'll be talking about in a bit.
I mean, I
Yeah.
can relate.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get it.
What's your star
If I
rating?
was alive in the old Wild West, I'd be hitting the either the opium dens or the laudanum bars too.
How crazy was it that Billy Zane was in this movie?
I love Billy
yeah.
Zane. I love Jason Priestley, and I love the love connection between Jason Priestley and Billy Zane. Like Jason Priestley's like he's just
A beautiful man
He's a
trying to bring beauty to the world.
beautiful, amazing, wonderful man. And then
God.
Billy Zane fucking dies, and Jason Priestley's like, "Oh my god, I've seen so much death, but this guy had spark."
He's got dreamy
I mean,
eyes. He's just like, oh.
I mean, think about it though. I mean, you live in this shitty ass, dusty, lawless, gross ass, cardboard made up fucking town
Yeah,
in the middle of nowhere. I feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere now.
yeah.
Imagine what it was like 100 years ago.
Seriously, you had nothing
You-
but like
we-
fucking
you-
death on the
I
horizon.
mean, we couldn't drive to LA in 4 hours like you can now. You were stuck there.
yeah.
Mhm.
You were stuck there in this shitty fucking little.
You had cards
Dusty
and
desert
laudanum,
town.
and that was
Yeah.
it.
I mean, there's no way I would ever be able to live like that. There's no
Oh,
way.
I would do it in a
So
heartbeat.
you know,
These people
something.
getting dressed up and going to the theater.
Yeah.
That's an event.
So some civilized thing comes to town. I can imagine
Yeah.
somebody would get a little bit enamored with some things.
And these
you know?
dumbass cowboys shooting their guns
Yeah.
into the ceiling,
That was-
ruining it for
that was,
everyone.
That was so Yosemite Sam when they did that shit. I love it.
5 stars.
Yeah.
5 stars?
5 stars.
All right, I'm with
Yeah.
you.
Nice. Wow. All right, Kate. Is it a 5-star movie?
Not to me, no.
Of course.
And that was a review of Tombstone. Stay
Sacrilege.
salty, my friends.
So the standout for this movie, and I think one of the things that has helped it stand the test of time, is Val Kilmer's portrayal of Doc Holliday. But originally, William Dafoe was supposed to play that part. And it was his involvement in The Passion of the Christ, where the studio was like, he's too controversial. We're not going to put him in a movie. And so Val Kilmer got cast. And Kilmer, this is his best performance, like hands down by
100%.
anything.
yeah.
Like he basically, he created this character. He added all these little flourishes to it. In his deathbed scene, he had them fill the bed with ice so that he would legitimately look like, you know, he was suffering and shivering and stuff like that. So talk about method. So this is really like Val Kilmer's movie, in my opinion. And he's very good in it. Like that little wink he gives the guy before like they start the shootout. At the, like he improvised that. Kurt Russell, being the director, kept it in. So like there is a lot of stuff to like about this movie, but overall I just feel like it's a 3-star film. Like it's just an enjoyable movie, but I don't feel like it's a classic. So
I'm going to go get my gun.
You thought you were getting married.
I think you're dead wrong on that
Oh,
one,
man.
bud. Holy shit. I thought like maybe 4, I'd be like, okay, I can
Yeah,
see
I
it.
would
mean,
have been okay with you giving it a 4. But
I
fucking
anticipated
3?
him being wrong, but just not this. We're not used to seeing Kadish being this wrong.
Jesus.
I mean, I've seen this movie a number of times, and don't get me wrong, I like it. I just don't feel like it's as good as you guys make it out.
You're not into Westerns very much,
this
are
thing
you?
this thing gets better every time I watch it.
I actually really enjoy Westerns, but like like I said before, when this movie came out, the critics all kind of like lambasted it as being like the lesser of the Wyatt Earp movies. And I can see that because in reworking the script for this movie, it didn't like the whole montage sequence, like after the OK Corral, I feel like this movie kind of like takes a turn and it becomes a little bit too Hollywoody as opposed to authentic. And so like, to me, like it's just more of a popcorn movie than anything.
I'll say this. I can appreciate Matt that he grades movies from a different perspective than I do. I grade movies on how they make me feel.
Right.
You know, on my experience from the movies. He grades them from more of a technical aspect, and that's cool. That's fine.
That's fine.
But this movie to me, just,
It's wrong, but it's fun.
for sure. you know, it's just it's a good movie.
I don't see the Hollywood version of
great
like what you were commenting on, like how they just kind of went a little bit too Hollywood with it. I think this whole movie is Hollywood.
Yeah, I feel the same
like
way.
Wyatt Earp and his family showed up, and it's a mining town. Tombstone is a silver mining town, and it only lasted a very short period of time. It was like 20 years that it was around, and after that,
it's still there.
I know, but after the silver disappeared, it just gone. Like everybody
Yeah,
left. It
yeah.
was a ghost town.
They put up a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, that was
There's
it.
like TikToks of people living in that town now, and they're just literally like walking through deserted mines
Yeah.
and shit.
Probably a truck stop.
Probably, yeah. But what I'm saying is like,
Starbucks.
when they showed up there, they didn't like go down to a saloon and just start making bank. Like the whole family, the Wyatt family, showed up, was like got into mining for a short time, couldn't make money doing that. They got into something else, couldn't make money doing that. They like bounced around. They were not rich people like they kind of portray them in this. Like, well, they made a shit ton of money and then they're good. So like, I think the whole movie is kind of like a Hollywood version of what happened. So I don't really feel like
I do like how they keep trying to like recruit Wyatt Earp to be like the sheriff, and he
I
just
love
keeps telling
that.
him to fuck off.
Yeah.
He became the sheriff of Tombstone because he was broke in real life. Like he couldn't make money, and they were like, "Can you be the sheriff?" And he's like, "I guess I need money. All right, fine, I'll do it." So like I can't hold that against the movie because the whole movie is like that.
I will say that I think that the movie deserves an extra star just for the mustaches. So 4 stars.
Too little, too late, Kadish.
He's like, my Twitter account is going to be bombarded by Tombstone fans.
We're taking away your blue check mark.
For me, Jesus, 5 stars. I don't know, man. Because
What does your heart say?
Because if I give this a 5 star, then I have to give Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid a 5 star too.
But that's your favorite movie.
It's my favorite Western movie of all time.
Listen, I don't know how you need to work it out in your.
The rules are made up.
Yeah.
And the points don't matter.
It's in the moment. You've had a lot to drink today, and it's our first movie, and things are going to get worse from here.
Yeah. We're doing our best movie first, for sure.
Yeah.
4.5.
Okay.
Half star
I'm good with
deducted
that.
for Hollywoodization.
Whatever you need to tell yourself.
Yeah.
4.5. It's not quite a 5, but I do adore this movie.
Hey, Alex,
Yes,
I'm your Huckleberry.
I know you are. All right, that's it for Tombstone. Let us know what you think. I know there's a lot of people in the comments who are going to be like, oh my God, this movie. So comment below and
Yeah.
let us know what you think about Tombstone. And stay tuned because the next movie on our list is Quentin Tarantino's movie, The Hateful Eight. We'll be right back.